What's going on, y'all? It's Jesse Palacios with Truck Talks, and I got my dude, Kyndal Ray Edwards.
That's me, a walking testimony.
Dude, did I get it right?
Yeah, man.
First time.
Yes, sir. First time.
So check it out, team. I know that whenever we sit in Truck Talks, we usually have local people, and we're trying to, hype up the local industry, number one. But number two, we're very faith-based. And I saw this young man literally hoofing it. And it kind of cued my interest. And then the next thing I knew, me and my wife were talking, and you came across our feed again. And you know how the algorithm of social media plays out. You touch it once, you're going to see it again.
Absolutely.
Well, guess what? He's on every platform. I'm going to have every link this guy has. But I want you to hear his story because it's heartfelt. There's something deep in here. And we're blessed with an opportunity to sit with him. So, Kyndal.
Awesome, man.
Dude, tell us a little bit about yourself, man.
Thank you
what's the background on this? Because I'm sure there is so many people that want to know. And I didn't do this live because I didn't want to have to pop questions. So I wanted you to have the relaxing atmosphere.
Yeah, man, absolutely.
Your tropical punch or pineapple coconut, whichever.
Oh, heck yeah, heck yeah. Oh, pineapple coconut.
Yeah,
man. Let's try it real quick. Let's take a sip.
But
so if you're wondering what a walking testimony means, like who's a walking testimony?
Yeah.
What does that even mean? So I say a walking testimony because I am walking across, and not just across, I'm walking across multiple times across America and to all four corners, the northwestern point of Washington, the southwestern point of California, the southeastern point of Florida, up to the northeastern point of Maine for mental health awareness and recovery. Simply to remind people daily that you matter, that we do recover. I walk in remembrance of our loved ones who are no longer with us due to mental health and or recovery issues, to let them know that they will never be forgotten and will always be in our hearts. I have different shirts with in each edition of the shirt is 180 names a piece.
Oh, wow.
Beautiful souls that are no longer with us due to those causes. Even though they're no longer with us, we still want them to be remembered and let them know they'll never be forgotten. They'll always be in our hearts. Where the 180 names on each edition stands for taking a 180-degree turn in the opposite direction from those things that are taking the people that we love and care about. That is a 180-degree turn in my life. As somebody in the last 18 years of my life, I have tried to take my life twice. I have overdosed. I've been in county jail 11 times, in prison twice. I'm 32 right now. I have 13 felony convictions and a bunch of misdemeanors on my record. But I am a firm believer that my past does not define me and that there's always hope. So I'm also walking for the ones that are currently struggling with those mental health and or recovery issues, to let them know that recovery is possible, that healing is real, that we all matter, that our past do not define us. Yeah, maybe there's certain jobs that I can't go get as a convicted felon, but life has so much more to offer. Yeah, I'll let you hit the next question.
No, that was like, that's a lot. So, real talk, all the stuff that you've been through in your life in a short period of time, what was the light bulb epiphany moment?
So, and it's really crazy. I grew up in church. I was in the church every Sunday morning, Sunday night, Wednesday night. I went to private school the first few years of my life. My first year in public school was 5th grade. Okay. So I did private school and homeschooling. So I was raised strict Southern Baptist for a long time.
And you're originally from
the metro area of Jacksonville, Florida,
Florida,
Orange Park area.
Okay.
Yeah, Orange Park, Clay County, Florida is where I'm from.
All out.
Yeah, Clay County, what's up? Y'all matter. I spent a lot of time in the Clay County jail, unfortunately. But
you know what, man? Like you said, it doesn't define where you're going.
Exactly. And that gentleman, I just met him walking across the bridge a few minutes ago.
No kidding. All right.
Yeah, man. But seriously, I totally lost my train of thought.
No, it's all right. So, what started the epiphany moment?
The epiphany moment. So, going through all of that, like, I was raised in a good household. I wasn't raised in a bad household. I was very, very sheltered. So, whenever I found out what freedom was and all the stuff that the world, the dark side of the world has to offer, man, like, I dug in real deep. So, between, like, in and out of county jail and just doing all this bad stuff, getting on drugs and everything, and, like, even when it comes to recovery, like, I'm addicted to adrenaline. I still am. Yeah. Everything I've ever done, whether it was drugs or criminal activities or walking across America or whatever I do, it's because I'm addicted to adrenaline.
The fast pace, the hit.
I am. I'm a fast paced person. If I'm sitting in a hotel room, I will pace 3 miles back and forth while I'm posting stuff. I cannot sit still.
Wow.
It is so hard.
The
Or
engine
I'm
doesn't slow
twitching
down,
or something.
does it?
Like I cannot, unless my eyes are closed on a pillow until I fall asleep. I'm always going. I never stop.
Do you ever have that moment of peace though? I know you're saying it, but do you feel like you're at peace right now?
So even in the mix of all the chaos, I'm at peace. I love life. And you know what? It's not always peaceful when you're living your life to the fullest. Sometimes there's so much going on, but it's worth it, you know, because I get to experience so much that life has to offer in such a short amount of time compared to some people who may never travel their entire lives for 70, 80 years.
Yeah, and that's pretty dang amazing that you're going literally the 4 points and the Gulf Coast into the southern, you know, part of the United States, circling back. Like, whenever you started this journey, you must have looked and been like, okay, I have to map it. Did you have like a game plan, or are you just kind of like walking and enjoying the ride?
Well, and I know I never directly answered your last question, and I do want to go ahead and directly answer that real quick. I was just kind of leading up to some of the stuff that led up to it. So I was doing 5 years on a prison sentence in Florida. 2.5 years into a 5-year prison sentence, there was a couple of different things that happened. One of them was my dad, who we got in a really, really bad fight in his garage in 2017, like 2 days before Mother's Day. Me and my friends were on a bunch of acid and cocaine, hanging out in the garage, being very disruptive at like 2 in the morning, getting a big argument. My disabled dad ended up picking up my guitar, trying to swing it at me, and it missed me and it hit my mom in the face, and I ended up getting in a real bad fight with my dad, and it just didn't end up good. I ended up going to jail on a domestic. When I got out, I couldn't go back to the house because I had an injunction on my dad. I was out for a couple months. So my dad didn't come and visit me for a couple of years in prison. I would talk to him on the phone every once in a while, but within this 2-week period, my dad comes and visits me finally. And so we start to restore that relationship. I had gained a lot of weight in prison, and weight was a big part of my depression as a young kid. I was a very big young kid with no self-esteem. I did not like myself, or who I was, and all of that stuff. So, you know, that played a part in me trying to take my life when I was a freshman in high school and things like that. So, moving forward, so I restore this relationship with my dad. I gain all this weight in prison because I'm just sitting around for a couple of years not doing anything. You know, I'm just eating food and just sitting on my bunk. So one of my buddies that he was in the bunk right next to me, and we talked every night, you know, every morning. We just sat on our bunks and talked whenever we're there. He was the most elite person I've ever met in my life, 0% body fat, just insanely shredded black dude. And he was such a nice guy. But we would joke around so much, and it came to I gained all this weight, and he started calling me BBK. And he's like, yo, BBK. And I'm like, what's BBK, dude? He's like, yo, bad body Kyndal boy, you need to get right. And I'm like, so we would laugh about it in the moment, but I hated that. I did not
because
like
you grew up with the
a big part of my depression.
It was a part of your identity of, you know.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So, but there was a couple people that worked out with this guy, and they were so elite. And there was another dude that was probably similar to me. And I would watch this, and he was a goofy kid. People picked on him. He was one of those people that, you know, people kind of picked on him, but he didn't care. He was still dude. He just you know, and he lost a lot of weight just sprinting this fence all the time. And eventually he started working out with these guys, and a year later, he transformed and became a beast. And everybody I can't believe that dude did it. And he's like, Kyndal, bro, you need to come work out with us, man. He's like, I think it'd be good for you, this, that, and the other. So eventually, I go out there for him. Or out there with them for a day. And I would watch people go try to work out with these people and talk. People would just sit around and watch these guys go.
So they were the bodybuilders.
They were the most elite group on the compound. People would just sit around dang, I wish I could do what they did.
Right.
You know, and I would watch people go out there and never go out them again because they got pushed so hard that day. You know, if you don't want to come out here, you're all good. But at the same time, they're the same group that they don't want you to do exactly what they're doing. They just want you to be there with them. They'll work with you on your pace. And that was what I loved about them. I don't think everybody realized that. So I get out there the first week I'm with them. We do a time mile. I run a 12-minute something mile. Within that year, I was down to my fastest time mile with them was 5 minutes, 57 seconds, dude. I hauled
on a
butt.
mile?
Yeah. Dude, when I say I ran that mile so fast, I was booking it. And it wasn't the lap around our compound, it wasn't just 4 circles. It was, you had to run one way, take another way, another fence, half of a track. It was a whole thing. It was a weird
Really?
setup. Part of it was grass, part of it was concrete. It was a weird setup. But I became a beast with these guys, and I learned a lot about myself, and I started writing goals. And the more that I became like the better version of myself, the less I cared about proving myself to somebody, because I was the little dude that got beat up in prison, because if you messed with me, I'm going to sit there and say something.
Right.
I just didn't put up with it. Right. And I got my butt beat plenty of times, and I always had my respect for standing up for myself.
Yeah.
But eventually it got to the point where you could call me any name in the book, and I'd be like, you got that, bro. I'm whatever you say I am. Because if you aren't, why would you say I am? Yeah, Eminem.
There's Eminem.
Because I realized I was giving these people power over me, and I didn't want these people to have power over me.
Isn't it funny whenever you have a mind shift of becoming a better version of yourself, like the internal dialogue actually shifts? Isn't it amazing?
Absolutely.
Like you're a literal testimony of it. Like your internal dialogue has shifted.
Absolutely. And I still have anger issues, man. I still have anger issues. I work on real bad. I'm a short temper. But one thing, back then you could have told me, I would have been like, blah, 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 whatever, maybe even try to fight you. But now you don't even got to tell me that I did it. I'll be like, dang, why did I act like that? Why did I react like that? How can I move forward and make it better? So I can acknowledge. It doesn't mean it gives me the excuse to allow it to continue to happen. I have to work on it.
Yeah.
But at least I know what I got to work on.
You have that conviction in your heart, which wasn't there before.
Exactly, and I can see when it happens.
Like condemnation before, your whole brain, the way you operated was in like that fearful shame. It sounds like the outward world, and then you were in a different world, and then
I was always in a different world.
Yeah, and then it sounds like it, man. And then you finally found your voice. And this is a cool journey, bro. Like. I'm completely flabbergasted. That's a weird word. I'm completely like blown away, right? Like, so I was watching some of your footage and watching how you interact with people. Where did you get this confidence because you have this aura about you, this confidence now, and you're telling this story of a child who didn't have the greatest feelings, who you were and how you're becoming, this confidence that you have. Where are you finding this confidence? Because you're exuding it. Sir, you have a way about you.
Man, it's kind of crazy. I'm probably not as confident as I seem sometimes to people, because, and like we were just talking about before we started the video, I actually have social anxiety that a lot of people might not realize. Mm-hmm. Whenever I'm done walking for the day, people want to invite me all these places, and I do have sometimes I love taking people up on offers, and I love meeting people, and I love hearing stories, but sometimes
you recharge.
I have to recharge, but at the same time, when people come and talk to me, I'm fine. You can walk up and talk to me. And don't get me wrong, sometimes I get upset if it's like I'm overwhelmed or overstimulated for the day or something like that. And that's something that I've internally started working on very heavy this past week. And there has already been a difference. And people have already told me, like, I can see the difference. And I'm like, thank God, because like I felt so bad about being an angry person for a day or two, or every once in a while whenever I get stressed. I have to learn that as this journey continues to grow, there's so many people. I think we've had like almost 12,000 followers in the last 28 days. That comes with a lot more messages and a lot more people stopping and a lot of things like that. My first year on the journey, I didn't break but 3,000 followers. My second year on the journey, I think I got up to like 30 something. And then now we're at like 113. And it's just in the last 3 years, it's gone up so fast. And I'm such a mileage person that I have to learn that, okay, I've already walked across America, and I'm walking, but I am walking for a cause, and there's people that are affected by this cause. I have to learn to slow the journey down and not say, oh, I have to cover this amount of miles today, or it's not going to work out. And then like, if y'all want to stop, come say what's up. And then after the 10th person, like, y'all got to stop stopping because I'm just trying to cover the miles. And it's gotten like that many times. I've done that. And I don't like getting like that,
So your goals that you set, those are the obstacles sometimes.
Right. And I'm one of those people, I push myself really hard. I like to cover the distance. I like to see how far I can push myself. I like a challenging day. my girlfriend mentions something to me, and I'll be like, what about this? And it's always something like 10 times crazier, because she's like, you always take it to the extreme. And
My
that's how
wife
I
will say
am.
that we are two sides of the same coin on that, because again, you got to drive things all the way home, right?
Right.
You get an idea and you run around in your brain for a couple of minutes, and then you run around for a couple of days executing it.
Exactly. And I'm such like an organized kind of focused person. Like when I set my mind on one thing for the day, that's the one thing I want to get done. So it's I can look at it, instead of saying how many miles can I accomplish today and feel good about myself, say how many people can I meet with however many amount of miles I can cover today.
Yeah.
And that's how I've been looking at it this past week. And it's totally, dude, I feel so much better
Like
just since I've done that. You know, but yeah.
So on this journey, you're doing fundraising as well. Originally, you were telling me that you had like your journey to where you wanted to kind of vocalize, and you said the first time you did it. So you've done this is your third time doing it?
So it's one big journey, but it's kind of done in different parts. It was originally just supposed to be a coast to coast. When I made it, when I finished like Jacksonville Beach, Florida, I walked 13 states, 3,292 miles to Long Beach, Washington. When I made it there, I took a break. I took like a month break.
I used to complain about rucksacks with the Corps, and then like the Navy making me do things.
That's no joke though. Those
but we weren't doing 2,000 miles, bro.
But so I do that, and then I take a break, and then I was unfulfilled with what I had done. Okay. I was like, I want to go do more walking. Like, so I got a hernia in Alabama walking on the journey. I wasn't able to have surgery till it got so bad. By the time I got to Colorado, I had to get emergency medicated and get surgery. So I had to stop the journey for a couple months. And heal up. And after I had to heal up, like I went back to Colorado and picked up Manitou Springs. The day after I picked up after surgery, started walking in Colorado mountains. I saw snow fall out of the sky for the first time.
That's the first time you ever see snow?
Yeah.
How was that, dude?
It was incredible. Now it was.
How old were you when you first saw snow? I gotta ask, because I have a story about first seeing snow.
That was 28 or 29.
Yeah, so
28 or 29, yeah.
I went into boot camp at 19. The first time I saw snow was whenever they gave me a shovel, and they said, hey, you need to go outside and go shovel the snow. I'm from Houston. I don't know. I'm like you, bro. Right? This last snow dusting we had in January down here. Didn't see that one. But again, like never really. And then that's whenever I realized the South is for me because of all my medical ailments. The bones hurting, snow, that's not my bag, right? So how's that been in those cold northern states?
So I loved it. It was really, really cool. But snow in Colorado, it's really expensive lodging because of all the ski people and snowboarders and stuff like that. There was numerous days that I had to find a place to hole up for a couple of days because snow came through in the night, and I gotta let the shoulders, because I like to at least have a little bit of shoulder. Well, in Colorado where there's snow and there's shoulders, sometimes I walk on roads without shoulders, but Colorado was very challenging with the winter aspect for walking, but it was incredible. I loved the views.
You don't have any camera crews. You don't have a joyrider that just kind of cruises along as your medical aid.
No, just me.
Not yet.
As this journey is growing, so I'm not one of those people. I don't like to ask for stuff,
and that's.
But I see this journey becoming even more extended, and I need a team. I need a manager. I need a team. I need
y'all heard it.
A crew. So I am hoping to actually I have one of my brother, basically my best friend, and he's gonna try to help me. We just started talking yesterday about reaching out to like companies that are for like outdoorsy stuff, but also are like help with mental health and or recovery that will focus, because I don't want to have a company that just wants to support for me just to give them free advertisement and them have nothing to do with mental health and or recovery.
And there was a gentleman that commented on the post that I shared this morning of us connecting, and he actually wrote in there that we should look into a nonprofit organization helper that he actually put us on. So I'm going to give you those contacts, because he actually said it all like, hey, contact these people.
Right.
So there's somebody already linked in on that. If there's any opportunity for a company to donate, help out, how do they, is it just the donor site that you utilize, or is there?
Well, so this is the biggest thing when it comes to that. I have to say, most importantly, the biggest one is donating to Addict to Athlete. The nonprofit that I'm fundraising for. They're focused on mental health, recovery, education, recreation. Once again, I met them in Utah. Even if you can't donate to anything, just go give them a like, follow, a share. That always helps. Or my page too, please. But so for me, like, people want to hand me money sometimes.
Okay.
I'm not a big fan of just receiving something for nothing.
Mm-hmm.
So I have a little merch and bracelets that I sell and stuff like that. Sponsorships, I would want to kind of have investors and sponsorships to actually get like a nice chunk of money to be able to get a bus, to have somebody to be able to follow me, stay in a bus when I need to, stay in hotels here and there too.
Right.
Set up more meet and greets, more official meet and greets, other than just posting, hey guys, I'll be here in a few hours kind of thing. And like, actually somebody that can get over there, be a parking lot, take pictures, like, hey, this is where the meet and greet's going to be. Help me with my social media page. Because, and I understand, like, with those sponsorship, that comes to be able to help pay people to be able to take time out of their lives to actually come be a part of this journey. And that's the kind of team I need, because this journey is going to go international eventually. I plan on doing 100 miles on each continent. I want to do more than just walk in the United States. I also, you never know, but there could be more crossings.
100%. Yeah.
You know, I don't know if it's just going to be the four corners at this point. This could be an extended journey. I don't know. I want to go
literally.
extreme, you know, and one day I could randomly just be like, I'm done. I might not complete everything. I could just be like, I'm tired. I just want to go home now, like Forrest Gump.
Funny you brought it up. But that's what it kind of reminded me of, is like, hey, you have this calling about you. You have this way. You want someone else to hear not just your story, but the idea behind Addict to Athlete. You want to hear the recovery stories of others.
Absolutely.
Because that's the thing. But like you told me while we were standing in the shade tree, the mental perspective and building the foundational block of you and building the best version of you is something that you're learning through this process too.
Absolutely. And I've changed so much on this journey for the better. Even when I changed my life in prison, if you go back to like the beginning, like the first 5 months of this journey, I didn't even talk like this. I talked like I thought I was a gangster. That's what I talked for years. And it was like, yo, what's up? Yeah. Like, we had the next state line guy. We did it. What up? Like, that's how I talked. And like, I look back at those videos and I'm like, did I really talk like that for years? I talked like that for years and I couldn't believe. I'm like, that's how I sounded. But Lord have mercy.
But it's funny, whenever it's starting to unveil, your calling starting to come to fruition, everything's starting to fall into place, then your faith kind of gets tested, right? Like, you said you had emergency surgery.
Yeah.
And you had to pause. Down through here, I'm sure you felt the heat, because we haven't even hit summer, but we felt it, right?
Oh yeah.
And you said, you know, you found your favorite shoes. Like, you've gone through growth moments through this process.
Oh, 100. Every day feels like a growth moment. Some days it feels like there's been a tiny setback, but it's always for a better comeback. And
that's, I think, life though. Like, real talk, you know that 1,000%, because you had your setbacks and you feel like you're moving in a different direction from where you started.
100%.
And you know what's amazing is your confidence. Yeah, you said I'm not, but you have this. I'm telling you, brother, you have the confidence and you have an air about you. And asking for help, I have trouble, peeps, but I understand. But there is something about your message that resonates with so many people. And it's more than the addiction. I think it's the brokenness. And I love it.
And so many people are broken in their own ways. So many people are affected, or they know somebody that's broken around them and it's affected them.
There's always like a little ripple effect.
Oh, absolutely. I've written a whole speech on the ripple effect. When I was in prison, I was part of a thing called Toastmasters International, which is actually a big thing on the streets. And it's a lot of Fortune 500 companies send people to learn speaking skills in these things. And I would write out speeches, but I did one called, it was the ripple effect on negativity or positivity over negativity. And like the starting of it was like, here's an example. Let's take a pebble, and this is either a negative pebble or a positive pebble, and I'm going to throw it in the water. And how is that going to ripple effect? Like, and then I did an example. So this is like how me doing something wrong can affect thousands of people that I've never even met or not even in my area. If I go kick in somebody's door, say I kick it in by myself, but then I'm affected, the person's door is affected. Now, if I have a co-defendant, me and him are both affected, and whoever is in this house is affected. Now, it's more than just us. It's those people's family are affected now. My family's affected now because I'm doing time. This person's family is affected now. But now it's more than just that. It's my neighbor. Somebody did that to my neighbor. Now all these other people that don't normally check their locks twice or their blinds twice or their windows, now they're checking all this stuff extra. They're calling their families in other countries like, yeah, my neighbor got robbed. Boom, and now it's in their mind, and it's like it's phone call ripple effect from something that happened in one community, in a small community. Now thousands of people all over the world can know.
So I was telling you, and I was telling them, I'm very recent and I'm infant in my faith journey, and I recently was saved. And you said ripple effect. We talked about stuff. If you look at all of my podcasts, I always talk about this because I'm in the process of finalizing a book.
Nice.
And
congratulations.
Thanks, man. And one of the big things is that the foundation of that ripple effect. You can be a pebble that lands in a pond but causes a tsunami that washes over people. Like that's literally in my book.
Yes, that's perfect.
That's
literally
a good one. Could be the wave that washes over the shoreline that people weren't expecting to cleanse so many things that they're broken from. You could be the person, and I think your message is something that's starting that ripple effect, but it's turning into a tsunami wave. But if you have great foundation in faith, and this is where I'm learning, those tsunami waves are so fulfilling. Like you're standing on the shoreline like, bring it, right?
Absolutely. And when your heart and your mind are in the right place, it doesn't mean everything's going to be easy 100%.
Exactly.
But everything does fall into place. Everything works out better than you could have imagined, man. It's
kind of, I literally did a message this morning about it, and I said, giving up and trusting the process. Handing over your cares, your struggles, and everything into a creator's hands and watching how good that happens versus your plan. And it's funny how you're saying your plan kind of gets every once in a while and you kind of get frustrated, but
it's funny because, and I'm going through this thing. My mom sent me a video recently. So one of my pages on social media has recently been hacked.
I saw that.
And I monetized through that page. So these people have redirected their account number. So they're receiving the main part of my check. So for the last couple months. And it's okay. I sell merch and stuff. I'm still blessed and all that. But this video that this guy sent me, and this is where like I do have confidence that it's going to get fixed because my mind wasn't in the wrong spot. But I did have to think back after I watched this video and make sure that my heart wasn't in the right spot. But a pastor, like he's I don't know if he's an actual pastor, but he's a minister, and he has like this YouTube channel with like 1.3 million people, and he had all these followers, and he does these faith-based messages and all this stuff. Well, he went through the same thing, and he was going through it for 6 months, but he couldn't talk about it until it was set in stone. You know, and that's why I haven't actually talked about it on that page specifically. Like you might hear me talk about it in a video or something, but you won't see me post it because I don't want these people to delete me from that page because I know that they're not watching all my videos like that.
I got you.
You know, they're just receiving the check for everything I'm posting. But this guy says that he got this email, and in this email, like he said, he probably wouldn't have even actually paid attention, but it offered a compensation for joining this podcast. I had a similar email. The only thing that this dude did differently than I did, well, actually there was quite a few things, but he like let these people into his payout account settings and all kinds of stuff. And they got into his bank account and like he lost his page for a long time. And it was a whole thing. And mine hasn't been that bad. Like they didn't get into my payout account settings. I don't know how I got hacked. It's just a whole weird thing. But this dude said because he saw that check, he saw that number. He said money was that motivation instead of what the motivation should be.
Right. Now,
I do know that these people that were trying to get me podcasting, I told them, I'll do it for free or you can Venmo, PayPal, or Cash App. Nobody's getting into any of my settings. I immediately felt uncomfortable about that. I don't know how anybody got into my thing, but that's kind of one of those things that I'm dealing with, and that has tested my faith. Even though like I'm not a money motivated person, I do think about my future and trying to have a good life after this journey is over. As my career of motivational speaking is
there
just
it
slowly
is.
starting
I
to
heard
take
it.
off. You know, so, and one day I hope to travel all over the world, share my story all over the
Yeah.
world, and that be my career. I don't care about getting rich, but I would love to be able to support myself, my family, and the people around me.
Yeah.
You know, pay my bills and just live life to the fullest while spreading a positive message anywhere and everywhere I go. But my faith has been tested with that, but I also know that I have to trust the process. And I went home recently to do a 5K in Tampa, Florida. And that's when all that happened. My time at home, it was my mom's birthday, like right before Mother's Day and everything, and I was a wreck, dude. I felt so bad because like everybody kind of got like a more
Zeroed
intense
in there,
version
yeah.
of me because I'm stressing, worrying about all this, because it's not about the paycheck, it's about that the fact that I have over 20,000 plus posts of documenting this journey, and these people could delete this page at any given time. And I have no ownership. Like, they've claimed ownership of my
There's
page
no way
and
to
took
go
me
in
out
and
of it.
pull it all out.
No, Facebook has to fix it. It has to be through their
The
support.
only way to do it is literally go by each video and download it back into a drive. That's the only way.
Well, there's that, but it's the 113K followers that I have and build up and everything like that. These people could take that away from me at any given time.
So I'm going to put something in your brain real fast. You alluded to the ripple effect, and we're going to talk about it because you talked about kicking in a door. You talked about the negative impacts, right? And you said your faith is being tested. Someone literally kicked in your door. You're on the other side right now. You see where I'm going?
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
Yeah,
absolutely.
So, like I'm listening to your story, and I'm like, okay, so, and a lot of times our faith is tested because the message wasn't received wholeheartedly the first time, right? So I don't know what that is for you. But I will say, for me personally, I seem to run into the wall quite a bit because I got a thick skull. And my wife will say it. She's like, yeah, you'll figure it out, right? But my journey, whenever I turned in towards and started leaning towards that process, you're right. It felt like more things kept on falling off the shelf. It felt like the spinning plates kept on like tipping off the little spinning pole.
Right.
Doesn't it feel that way? And it's kind of whenever you sit back and you start leaning into gratitude and thankfulness, everything kind of reshifts and focus in your heart so you can absorb that negative moment, right? So I hope and I pray, man, that all that gets resolved. As a matter of fact, I know it's going to get resolved.
Oh, absolutely.
Over,
and
right?
and this is the thing, like, since I've been back out here walking and been back from Florida, like, God has provided in so many ways. Like I said, I've sold merch and different things. People have blessed me with stays in different places and stuff like that. Man. So it's been really incredible. Now I'm not even stressing it like that anymore. With the financial aspect, it does suck that I could lose my whole page, but at the end of the day, if I had to restart all over, I could, but I don't think it's going to come to that. It is in God's hands, and He's going to handle it. And if He did take it away, it was because my focus got on the wrong thing. You know, but yeah. I believe I do from the bottom of my heart think that my focus is not really in the wrong place.
Hold on. Would that have came out of Kyndal's mouth less than 5 years ago? What you just said? That you believe that it was going to fall, like everything's going to work itself out. With that anger that you carried, would your expression outwardly be vocalized the way you just did it? Do you think?
Possibly, but with a lot more anger and hatred in my heart.
Yeah, because we're human beings, brother.
You know, right? And that is the one thing that I get from being raised faith-based and having God in my life my whole life, even when I back turned for a long time. That is one thing I do have that. Yeah, absolutely. I've always had the anchor point, just kind of
I got
threw
you,
it
bro.
away for
Trust
a bit.
me, I get it more than you know.
You know, and even in the midst of it all, I would feel guilty. I just didn't care. I just did all this stupid stuff. Right. Like, I always had my faith. I've always believed, but I just didn't care, even in the midst of feeling guilty and doing the bad things.
You know, it's crazy that you say that. Like, someone recently told me, do you understand what happened? And I was like, what do you mean what happened? And they're like, the switch. And I was like, okay, I'll play your game. I'll eat the cupcake. What are you talking about, right? And they were like, no. The reason why you can't sleep, the reason why you all of a sudden have conscientious thoughts about feeling a certain way. The goosebumps whenever you start to talk to people.
Right.
The conviction that you have in your heart shifted, and you're no longer selfishly thinking in a world that you used to live in, and you're now moving in a different, like you're on a different level.
Right.
And legit, I watched you bebop down Ocean Springs. It was like, and I started filming. I said, "Here comes Kyndal, man." And I said, "I want y'all to see this." And it was kind of like you're in Happy Land on your own island. And yeah, you entertain visitors to your island. I get it. Thanks for entertaining the visitor to your island today. Right? But on Kyndal Island, man, it seems like you actually have something stirring inside of you that most people, we talk about it a lot on my podcast. Like you have something deep inside of you that you want the world to know. And I hope and I pray that this is another platform that advertises your heart for addict to athlete, number one, but number two, the mental clarity that you're starting to feel.
Yeah, absolutely.
And then the faith journey that you're starting to run too, man. Like you've always had it, but now it's kind of, I think it's open.
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. I think a lot of people are starting to see what faith really is in these different times, man.
It's different.
It's crazy. I've seen a lot of people in the last year alone, a lot of people between celebrities and just random people on my page saying, I tried so hard to push it off, but I'm going to God now. Like so many people are going to God.
Man,
now.
I've gotten so many people call me personally, and we've had just conversations, and it's people that I haven't talked to in years. I've had family members reach out to me that I don't even know. Just like, hey, I'm your cousin. And, you know, there's so many different atmospherics that are happening at different levels. And to bounce with good energy like yours, dude, I love it. So I pray that we kind of continue this journey. And if you need medical advice, if you need someone to come scoop you up in a truck, if you want to sit down, some AC,
heck yeah, man.
You have my direct link now, like, and you have the network of the coast, because I guarantee you're gonna be like the adopted guy down here. So every time you come back through here, people are gonna remember you. I saw where you got your
so good to me.
I saw you got your teeth cleaned yesterday, man. like that was cool.
Yeah,
right?
yeah. Bienville dental care over here in Ocean Springs took care of me.
And then I saw where you were in Bay St. Louis, hanging out over there. Pretty cool vibe over there, right?
Oh yeah, man. This whole area has just been so great.
Like chill, isn't it?
The coast mixed with Southern hospitality and stuff.
It's a different vibe
without the craziness that everybody is kind of puts together with Florida.
You could say it, you're from Florida, bro. I'm from Texas. So
I am, man. It's I met people in every state that are like, you know, everybody everywhere is crazy, but Florida's got the people that are just like, they got the wild people, stories, man. They're throwing alligators. Well, they call the
Florida man, right?
Yeah. So, oh yeah. Yeah, they got people throwing alligators through drive-through windows in Florida, eating people's faces and stuff. It's crazy.
That's some crazy shit.
Crazy. It is, but you know, at the end of the day, there's a mental health issue everywhere you go.
So
there's mental health problems.
Let's tap back into the mental health piece. So for you, has it been a mental health thing, or was it someone that was close to you? Like, why so much the mental? I know you're saying that you struggled with your own, you know, things in life.
Right.
But what was the highlight? Was it someone that kind of you saw yourself in someone, or was it that you just absorbed that change yourself? And the reason why I asked that very specifically is because I saw me and other people, and that forced me to change.
So like, I've never been diagnosed with anything, but I've, you know, dealt with depression. I've tried to take my life twice and everything like that.
Right.
It was, really just changing everything about myself. I think I was a woe is me pity person.
Okay.
Pity party person, and I had to get over that because that wasn't changing anything, I guess.
And you said you have a girlfriend,
which I met on the journey.
That's
walking
cool.
through her city.
Okay.
Yeah.
And then, so that's your family dynamic that you're go home to right now. And the reason why I asked that, like, you have any kids? Do you have? Okay. All right.
I do not.
So this journey is literally I'm gonna show it. Yeah.
It's my life. You know, I trying to figure out how to answer that last question better.
Yeah, I throw some off cuff ones sometimes. My bad.
No,
I don't know. I try not to stage them either.
Yeah, I don't.
Don't worry
I've
about
already
it.
forgot what it was.
So, and then
Darn it.
while we circle back around to other stuff, physical ailments, you said you had a few. Mental ailments, you had a few. Spiritually, you're in a good place now. Have you noticed that people who come to you are coming to you broken, and then you're kind of like the beacon for them, or are they just like, yeah, let's go? Is it a mix? Or?
Oh, it's absolutely a mix. It's people that have struggled, people that know people that struggle, people that know people that have died, people that have never struggled with anything in their life, and just know people that they've died, and everything in between. It's every walk of life has come up to me on this journey. I think different people from different countries have come up and shared their story, all different kinds of stuff. The natives have showed me a lot of native stuff over there, going through like tribal reservations and stuff like that. I've met everything, man. It's everybody, all ways of life, man.
So what does the next 5 years for Kyndal look like? Have you thought that far ahead?
Walking
for
who knows?
You don't know?
I mean,
well, no, you said you wanted to be
I just don't know how long
speaker.
this journey is going to last. But I want motivational speaking to be my career for the rest of my life.
Because you love giving the juice to other people, like giving that story that, hey, you can do it.
Absolutely. But I would say within the next 5 years, what I hope it doesn't take nearly that long, is to finish the 4 corners of the lower 48 states and 100 miles on each continent.
100 miles on each continent. Man. I've done a few 100 miles here and there on continents, and I'll tell you, there's some places that could use a person like you to speak faith, speak the testimony, and talk about mental health awareness.
Right.
I've seen it.
And you know what? Doing 100 miles on each continent, it's going to be a little bit harder to do it. What I'm doing over here, that would be more of like just documenting a short period of time of going to do something extreme on another continent. I might not be able to actually. I'd plug into communities with the time frame that I would have to do it like that.
Got it.
And I would probably be in some remote places, maybe
cool
in
journey.
some places, especially Antarctica.
That'd be really
if I can
cool.
get in there. Yeah, man.
So,
I would love to do the world race too, which is
the amazing race thing, or
the seven continents, 7 days, 7 marathons. It's a marathon a day on each continent. You're constant. You sleep on the plane.
Yeah,
as you
so
travel.
let's backtrack your walking distances. Like, what's the furthest distance you walked?
36 miles in 1 day, which I can.
Okay.
I could definitely go further. I know that for a fact. That was early in on the journey.
Okay.
I can easily average 20 plus miles a day for well over a month straight.
Really?
Yeah, I'm a guy over 8,100 miles, 8,105 miles walked right now, 24 state lines crossed. I think over 17 or 18 million steps in, something like that.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
Yeah, you put some miles on them shoes, dude. And
yeah, I've been this is I'm about to retire this pair, which will be 20 pairs of shoes I've been through.
That's crazy, brother. Well, I gotta say, this was not on the bingo card 100%. Like, I knew we had contacted Friday, but I just didn't know what the world entailed. And
yeah, guys, this was a great podcast for a winging it. No like written down questions or anything. Like, we just kind of went with the flow.
Yeah, like this was literally not on the bingo card, guys. I contacted him in hopes that he would take the opportunity to sit in some opportunity with me, and I'm so grateful for the opportunity.
Yeah,
honestly,
thank you.
Man.
I appreciate that.
We're gonna grab some food too, so just wait on that.
Yeah, and if y'all are ever curious, if there's nothing that y'all didn't, or there's something y'all didn't hear here that you have questions about, reach out through a walking testimony, all social media platforms. Go check it out.
All the links will be right here, and then you're gonna have, once I edit this up, you're gonna have like a flowing background that has all your page stuff surfacing.
Okay, sweet.
So
Heck
you're gonna have integrated stuff to where that, and it'll be surfaced on, of course, YouTube, TikTok, all the platforms.
Heck yeah.
Facebook. But the big thing about it all is thank you. Thank you for finding your voice. Thank you for finding the spirit to do something that most people would kind of be like, that's kind of crazy. What are you doing? But you found something that means something to other people too. And you're doing it for people who have been lost. And that means a lot to me, because I was a lost soul for a good bit, and I'm finally in a good position. So
good.
I can appreciate what you're doing this for.
And thank you for taking the time to hear what I had to say. And thank you for your service, for everything that you've been through. And congratulations on finding your faith, brother.
Man, bro, it's
That's
like
awesome,
I got the
man.
cheat code. I could see things differently.
Oh, I
finally.
can see clearly now. The devil's gone.
Yeah, for sure. So,
Heck yeah.
hey, man. So, Kyndal, thank you again.
Thank you so much.
Kyndal Ray, guys, a walking faith testimony. This guy right here, we talk about the heart, we talk about the soul, and we talk about what you can do with it. That's an example. You want to lead people, you want to do something different, and we're appreciative of your heart. We're appreciative of you as a human being, man.
Right. And guys, it's I do have a story. We all have a story. It's not about me. It's about God. It's about mental health and recovery. I'm merely just a vessel that he's allowed to come out here on this journey and do what we've done so far. And it's been a lot bigger than I could have ever imagined. I'm just so grateful and thankful for that. So yeah.
And the last bit I'll leave you with, if you guys need to reach Kyndal, you can hit him on his social media links. You can go ahead and follow him through his journey. And if you'd like, you can walk alongside him, and keep in mind, he's looking for a small team, a unit that's able to work within the confines of what he has going on. So Jesse with Truck Talks, Kyndal, we
Walking testimony.
Walking testimony, brother. And
Appreciate you.
we'll go ahead and bounce it from here. Truck Talks, we out.